Quit eating, folks, 30 seconds to showtime. Grab your seat, leave your drinks to the bar. Hold your breath, put your hands together. We present Stanford Bay's finest star, who has danced with the Mayor of New Guinea, who has dined with the Queen of Vermont. We trace the voyages of Sinbad, corresponded with the men who can't le vache de tapis. C'est pas la même chose que la vache qui rit. La vache de Farron, mon ami.
And hello. This is Geoff with the G here. Welcome to the next part of the fun that is the Cabin Fever live stream Sideshow Saturday. With me for my special guest is the innovator of insanity, the one, the only, Fenyxfyre. How you doing, Fenyx?
Very well, thank you.
Glad to have you part of the show. We've become weird friends based on, we've kind of known each other for a while, but it's one of those, since the COVID hit, we've really kind of become, it's like hard to get to know a lot of different people that I probably would not have known had it not hit. It's kind of one of those weird situations where you didn't get a chance to do stuff, except for the fact that this thing happened. So that's pretty cool.
And I have actually met or seen a lot of performers and musicians that I would never have without watching your show. It's been interesting. I've seen a lot of people that I never ever, which I'm happy about. And just because it's brought into my home now, instead of going to live venues and being in Canada, it's hard to get to the States as easily as I would like. So, but yeah, you've had a lot of great guests and performers on, that's for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I try really hard to try to bring in some interesting people and stuff like that, and it's trying to make sure it's the chance to see stuff people wouldn't normally see, and that's what I did with live shows too. So, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you actually did a really cool part of the show too, which I really enjoyed. So you got started with all this stuff, and it was initially with Fire. Why don't you talk about how you actually get involved with this whole stuff?
Yeah. Well, I guess growing up, I had a very interesting childhood, and then was basically raised very religious. And then at about 27, kind of left that whole world. I was a professional athlete for a while, did downhill mountain biking. And really enjoyed that, but got to the point where it wasn't enjoying it anymore, and it was affecting a lot of my life. Just wasn't happy with some things, and then I started out with Fire, but I really didn't perform. I kind of did casual performing with Fire, but it started out initially was I was walking through a park in my hometown here in London, and ran into a gentleman that was a stuntman. And he kind of taught me the basics of fire and stunts and things like that, doing full body burns. Didn't initially start with fire breathing. Then from there, he stayed with me for a while, and I he stayed with me because he had no family, and basically he had about 3 months to live. And from there, kind of learned everything I could in a short period of time, and then kind of he passed away. And so that kind of, I got that bug of, doing fire, learned fire eating. And then I used to have a burlesque and company called Sinister Society. And we, did a lot of burlesque shows, and I did some, simple fire, things like that. And there was a fire breather that was part of the show all the time. And he taught me quite a bit about fire breathing. So I learned about fire breathing and kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger. Fast forward a few years, I got attacked in my hometown and almost killed. I was attacked by a gang. This first night out after stabbing somebody, and I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and was almost killed. Took 17 kicks to my head as I crawled, trying to get away, begging for my life. And so I was out of commission for a while. I couldn't even leave my house. I had such bad agoraphobia, just healing and a lot of PTSD. And then I was like, this has to stop. I need to get out in real life again and join the real world. And so I used performing and, doing some world records and studying like kind of tasks like, okay, I have a show to do. And then so I would like mentally prepare myself. I've got a show to do, and then get prepared and then go do it. And then kind of recluse for a bit. And then from there kind of went and, got bigger and bigger. I got invited to go down to do the TV show AMC Freak Show, Venice Beach. So I did that, and from there, kind of thing just kind of got, people started knowing who I was. People knew who I was already, but that was kind of like where people in the U.S. knew who I was. And from there, kind of just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then I started doing world records, and then I've gotten known to be somebody that comes up with innovative ideas, and here we are, talking to you.
Yeah. Hot Todd Lincoln's in the chat just saying, hey, all.
It was Todd was down, stayed at my house twice now. He was down for the Something Strange Sideshow Festival here in Toronto. And him and Harley came last time, and I was actually there when Todd swallowed his first sword. It was a pretty amazing sight.
Harley Newman, correct? That way people are watching the show, that way we know who are you. It's one of those, it's the making sure people know who are watching, who we're talking about. Harley Newman, who is a pretty venerated member of the sideshow community. So, it's a pretty big deal.
It's really, really awesome because when I started, Harley was somebody that I really looked up to. It was like, kind of like, to me, it was like, huh? And to have him stay at my house and to be, learn from him and kind of, he has enough respect for me too. He comes to me and asks me for advice now, which is kind of nice. It feels good. So it's interesting.
All right, cool. I think I'm scary, says, and I'm assuming this is about you. To me, I don't know why, but says, you're such an inspiration. You can see the passion in everything you do. What's your favorite thing you've learned?
The favorite thing I've learned, like as a stunt or as just life in general.
Why not both? Let's talk about both. Because they're hand in hand.
Yeah, in life, I would say the biggest thing I've learned is we're all human, basically. And I have a saying because I get very hard on myself. I'm super hard on myself. I'm very, I don't see myself as other people see myself, but I have this saying that kind of keeps me motivated so that I don't put too much pressure on myself, and that is, I may not be where I want to be in life, but I've been to a lot of places I never thought I would be. So it's, it's very motivating to me to say, you know what, I'm okay on the path I'm going, and if I need to tweak it, it's okay to tweak it. And my favorite stunt, that's a tough one. I have so many. I think the one I think that scares me the most and I'm most proud of is the cinder blockhead smash. Where it's that one took a lot of, when I was figuring it out and planning it, because a lot of things can go wrong with that one. You can die from that one. And but that one was one where it was like, okay, I had an idea that I wanted to do, and then how to successfully do it was two different things. When I first started it wasn't the idea I had in mind, and then basically got from there. But basically what the cinder blockhead smash is I have a nail inserted into a block, my head goes on that nail, and then the cinder block gets smashed while my head's on that nail. So a lot of things can go wrong with that one. But it's one of the things that's most proud of, I think. Some of the escape work I'm working on right now is pretty fun. In the escape world, they're pretty excited about some of the things I'm doing.
That's cool. Yeah, Hot Todd said he actually saw you do the nail blockhead thing, but with a frozen block, and he thought it was beautiful. And he stepped away while we were chatting about him a second ago, so he was upset. So you Todd. No, that's really, really cool. Both those things are really interesting and fascinating. I'm a big fan. Thank you guys who are joining in right now. My name is Geoff with the G, right here for the G Spots. Talking right here with Fenyxfyre. What were we saying? Well, You weren't here, Todd. I'm sorry. We're not gonna repeat it. We're just gonna point and knowingly say stuff. No. Psst.
You need to tune in.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, it was about your visit to go see Something Strange with Harley. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
And how it was really awesome to see you swallow your sword for the first time in my house. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I'm Scary is actually, she is, they have a show as well, and it's all about horror themed, and it's pretty awesome. And we've been talking and getting some plans made for that, for a cool, a little event coming up. So I'm looking forward to that. And
that sounds awesome. Hey, I think I'm Scary. All my contact information's up here. You can chat with me. I do have another show that has really cool stuff too. We might talk about getting you on that show. Because I like weird horror themed stuff. I like all sorts of stuff. So let's see what's some other fun stuff we can talk about. So we talked to fire. So other than show stuff, I know that you've been you were considered essential. You're still considered an essential worker as far as you never stopped working.
No, I haven't stopped working. Fortunately, because I am compromised after my surgery last year, I've been able to work from home, which has been very nice. But yeah, I've been working so many hours; it's exhausting. I work in the financial industry. So everybody that needs help and support, and dealing with some of the life things with money, it's been my job to help with that. I actually am in charge of almost all the incoming emails, so I get to deal with a lot of the people that are upset and trying to help them with their situations. Some days are harder than others. I've had a lot of tears on the phone and a lot of people yelling and screaming, and because they're stressed, they're frustrated and know what to do. So that's been interesting. Everybody always finds it weird that I do sideshow and that I also have a corporate life. That's most people don't kind of equate the two with me, but I have basically two worlds that I live in. So it's kind of nice. It gives me balance. Everybody always asks why I still keep my job, and I really like what I do, so, and I'm good at it. So
there's nothing wrong
it was
with it.
actually my 50th birthday, and they had a parade for me, which was really amazing. It's most companies wouldn't do that for an employee that they hated, so it's nice to be loved.
Well, that's really cool. A couple of things. First off, I think I'm Scary says, you're so awesome, man. I honestly am going to approach your mentality on things, and it's a good way to go. I agree. Hot Tide Lincoln also dropped the question, goes, how do you deal with people that use your acts as inspiration without credit or even asking you? I love that. Just
for the most part, if anybody knows me, I'm very good if you ask me. I try my best to be approached. There's been a couple times when I've said no, and only because I have other plans for it, or I have other ideas for it, and that is bigger than, a lot of times people don't realize that when we do things, there's a bigger picture, right, that we have going on, and that, there's aspirations that I have. I have goals that I want to get to, so you don't want to give everything away.
Yeah.
I've had acts stolen, and usually it's just brushed off. And when I was young, when I first started to, I learned the hard way. And I stole. I didn't know I did, but it's also just, you have to kind of say, you know what, okay, I was in the wrong. So the biggest thing though is asking. I try my best to be approachable. And to help the community. And that's ideally what it's about. It's helping the community and helping other performers. A lot of people don't like that people help other performers sometimes too, which is, I find odd. But to me, it's just, I try and deal with human decency. It's like, how would I react if it happened to me, and how do I want to react if it happens to me, right? And how it's all about approach too. If somebody says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to say, no, you're not. And if they say, hey, you know what, this is what I want to do with it, you know, can I do it? And it's like, well, let's first say, yeah, okay, how are you going to make it your own? What are you going to do to make it your own? Whether it's your banter, you know, things like that. You know, I just don't want people copying exactly what I do. But if they can give me a good reason why they do it, then yeah, I'll try my best to accommodate that. Now, saying that, I have had where I've actually said no and they've done it anyways, and that makes me angry.
Well, yeah, that's to be fair, especially if it's a complete and utter like line by line ripoff, which I've seen with I don't know about your acts, but I've seen it with a couple other people, and it's frustrating to see, especially because like me and another performer actually went to a show and saw somebody do their act, and it was really weird.
You saw one of my acts at the Southern Sideshow Hootenanny that was mine that I told the person they couldn't do.
Oh, I did? Okay.
We'll talk later about that.
Oh, that's fair. We'll talk about it Todd Lane, yes, this is a great shirt. You can actually pick up this shirt along with a lot of other different designs. Why don't you tell them where you think they can pick up the shirt?
I've actually, for a lot of my US fans, I use what's called threadless.com.
Yeah.
And the reason why, because it's expensive to ship from Canada. And so it gives you guys a cheaper way to get my merch. And I don't have to stock a lot of it. So I've got skateboards, shower curtains. You can get, if you want, you can get sheets and a duvet with me on them.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a little creepy to do. Like, not gonna lie. Yes, I know Threadless. Actually, Devil's Hour. I use Threadless for Devil's Hour. So.
Yeah, it's great. It's cheap, and they actually, like, shirts are great.
Oh, it is. It's very comfortable. I'm like, I put it like, I got it like last week, and I go, all right, cool. I'm gonna have an interview anyway, so that's why I held off on wearing the shirts. I washed it, of course, but I like the first time wearing it was for the thing, and I go, it feels nice and comfortable. So.
Yeah, I actually this week I bought every style of shirt that I have because I wanted to see what they looked like because. I felt guilty having people buy stuff and I hadn't even seen what it looked like. So, so it was more of a plus, I wanted to, it's nice to promote yourself too when you're at shows and stuff. So,
well, yeah. I say, like, I think I'm scary. He goes, you've done well in life when people want to buy a blanket with your face on it. I die happy. That's what she said. I go, I would have to concur with. Weirdly enough, I would concur with that. Although it's really weird to buy a blanket with somebody's face on it, but that's just me. But I would be really humbled and honored if somebody did that.
The shower curtain is more weird, I think, than a blanket.
Bath mats is on there too.
Well, I got bath mats. Yes.
Yeah. Bath mats are very cool. Yeah. Interesting, but yeah. It's
no, I went with the classic design because I thought it was really cool. It actually, which you can't see, Fenyx is above you. I actually have this logo above your picture on the stream so people can see your logo.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like just like mine has my Geoff with the G logo above me, and then below us has your Instagram. So you follow on Instagram at the Fenyxfyre to make sure all your socials together. And Hot Tut says you too can be swallowed in bed with Fenyxfyre. So yeah, no, it's
yeah.
Cheers.
No, cheers. Yes, cheers. Also, you guys aren't aware is that he's also in a comic book, which is available as well, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, I have the digital copy of that, the Sideshow Psychosis. It's a lot of fun to read.
What's
Swaddled,
really cool about
swallowed,
it is,
column A, column B. You know what? You're still being drawn in, Todd. I said swaddled. Anyways, initially, but swaddled, not swallowed. In the end, you're surrounded. So,
the Sideshow Psychosis was really. It's something that was really cool because it was started by Mar Omega, who is a sideshow performer, and he approached me. I was one of the first characters that he approached And then I had a lot of input into the comic, which was really nice. But it's, performers from all over, like Dean Formica, Jen, April Latau, Vlad. He's just a huge bear, and he's a strong man.
Oh yeah.
But it's really cool characters that are actually performers in real life, and got to be put into this comic and have fun. Lee Molson, who's my knife thrower in the show, he's insane with the knife, and he's part of it. So it was really cool to be part of the project and see. It was neat to see the original concept drawings and the next step, and the finished product. And now, hopefully, the goal is to make a movie from it. So
that's really cool. People are asking on where can they acquire said comic book.
You can get it digitally on Amazon Comixology.
Oh, Comixology, that's right. That's how I have it. So.
Yep. And then you can get it on sideshowofpsychosis.com.
There you go.
Is normal copies, and then you can get it on my website as well, Fenyxfyre.com. As well, you can get it from there. If you're in the States, though, I suggest getting it from either Comixology or sideshowofpsychosis.com because it's definitely a lot cheaper.
Hot Todd says Lee should be on my shows. Basically, he says this one and the Devil's Hour. So,
yeah, and you need to. Have you seen this stuff?
I don't think I have.
No.
I may have. It's possible. I may not know that's who it was.
This guy, no word of a lie. Like just because he's one of my best friends, I'm gonna tout him. But he's known as Mad Guyver. And
we talked about him before. That's right. And I think he did a little bit on that one video I saw you do on another show. That's probably that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, he looked good. Just get me in contact with him. I would love to at least to start with a video thing, and then with Devil's Hour.
Like he's like the guy can catch a Tic Tac in midair blindfolded. No word of a lie. He can pin a Tic Tac to a board blindfolded.
Oh, okay, cool.
Pretty insane. So. And, We'll
talk later afterwards. We'll do the. Do the meets and stuff like that because I love all weird, crazy stuff. You know me now.
Yeah, and Canadians we're especially weird.
Oh, I know. I've discovered that as I've become really good friends with a lot of various Canadians, and they're all. And actually, they're all. Once I say they're all East Coasters, but they're not. I know some West Coasters too, but it's like that really weird. I go as I've been in my journey. For doing sideshow people who are new on here that don't like that. I've only been doing that. I personally only been involved with sideshow proper for like even being around it on like a hardcore basis for like 3 years, and I've only been doing it as like a more career base for the past 2. And so my journey is still discovering all these people, and I've noticed that there's a lot of weird fucking people in Canada. I think it gets cold and bored. I'm just going to do weird shit. It's what it really seems like to me. So it's really crazy.
What we do is we feel like we're outsiders, so we rude.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
No, that's fair. I think I'm scary. Asked another question, which thank you. I think I'm scary. I like your participation. It's awesome. Keep doing it. Do you have a favorite person you had on stage from the audience that you remember? So I guess somebody you brought on stage as an audience member. Do you have a favorite story involving that?
Yes.
I suspect this is a leading question, but I'm not sure.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it is, but. I've had really fun audience members because I have a very interactive show, so it's always people being part of the show. My favorite memory though was at a tattoo convention, and I was performing, and I just actually had people propose to each other by stapling stuff to me. And so they did the proposal, and then I was doing blockhead, and I was doing blockhead with scissors and opening them with scissors, and then I bring some up, and it's like, okay, can you remove them? But you can't use your hands. And she's like, all of a sudden starts taking off her shoes, And normally people just reach in and pull it out with their mouths. And I'm like, are we really going to do this? I have video of it. It's amazing. I'm like, are we really going to do this? She's like, yes, we're really going to do this. So anyways, I'm like, okay. So I like lay down on my back and she pulls the scissors out with her toes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, and it was just totally complete one of those random things, but it just worked out perfectly. But it's one of those memories that stuck in my head as a really funny time because it was totally off the cuff and just a lot of fun.
That sounds like a fun. I think I'm scary also because I like group participation.
She interviews for a living. That's what she does.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. That's really cool. That's really good. Well, maybe we'll talk later. Sideshow people, performers have been my favorite people to talk to. You're also different, but in good ways. I have to agree. I mean, there are some pieces of shit, but that's, to be fair, that's in every industry. But for the most people I talk to, have all been good people. So that's really awesome. I don't judge grammar. I don't judge. That's not how it works. I'm in Sideshow. I can't judge because I know there are people far better than me. So who am I going to say? Who am I going to talk about? So,
I'm really trying to have an ego
in Sideshow.
Yeah.
I try my best to be humble. I've seen people that have egos, and it's not my thing. I personally try not to worry what my colleagues think, but I really worry about what my audience thinks. The people that and promoters, people that promote my show and people that pay me.
Yeah, well, that's it's all about being professional, like just maintaining professional. You can have familiarity while being professional at the same time, but it's one of those. All right, cool. Yeah, I like myself. I don't judge anything like that. I don't play favorites. I talk to everybody because that's just how I am. I just like talking to people, so I don't care. I don't care about drama. Really, because unless there's like charges involved, like from the police or the government, I really don't care. I say that, but there's exceptions, but there's always exceptions. But
drama. It's weird how sometimes drama involves you even if you don't want it at all, too. So, which is kind of odd.
Also fair, but also then that's when I step up the. That's like once the drama really kicks in, like because I've been involved in different industries, like performance industries, even like from background stuff, and like when it starts to ramp up, I just go, and I step the fuck away. Let's see. I think I'm scary. Also says worst experience with an audience member, not necessarily bad, but I'm thinking like. I like turtles, kids. That's what she says. I'm sure that has a context that you know that I don't.
Worst experience, drunk.
Pardon me?
one person
that wanted to fight me on stage because their girlfriend was, enjoying the show. And a little bit of jealousy kicked in. They were drunk and tried to pick a fight with me while I was on stage. That was an interesting moment. It's like you don't pick a fight with the guy that is tasering himself and sticking sharp objects and fire breathing, and is hired by the bar to be there. So it didn't go over very well. They got exited very quickly and not in the best way. So yeah, it was interesting. And another time where I used to, when I was doing glass act, I would smash the bottle on stage with a hammer just to show it was real. I stopped doing that because one of the audience members decided they wanted to take the hammer to me because they thought I could take pain very well and hit me with the hammer instead of, just picked it up and smacked me with the hammer. That was interesting. It was a shock, but. Yeah, what I've learned from that is you got to be prepared for the audience.
Oh, I agree. I mean, the most I've ever ready to do is I like my stuff is mostly just talking. So usually I just get hecklers, and No, I haven't told this story on this show. I've talked about it in other things and stuff like that. I don't know if I talked about it today, but like I was doing because the Devil's Hour started as a live show, and that's how season 1. Like anybody goes season 2, season 1 was completely live. So you'll never see season 1 because it doesn't exist. Actually, there's some video of some stuff before season 1, but there's no season 1 live. And so some dude, because I made a joke, because like myself and some other performers we have, I made when I perform a performer I work with, Chris Broken, who's been on the Devil's Hour, and he's a good friend of mine. He's part of the Trash Fire Sideshow, all sorts of fun stuff. He bends rebar, and he bends it into a heart for a show. Like he bends it into a heart for a show, and then he gave it to an audience member who ends up coming to the shows a lot. So she comes to the next show. I see her and I go, "Hey, what's going on?" Because I recognize her, like a good host should. And so I make the joke. I made the joke then at the first show and the second show. I go, "All right, cool. It's Mrs. Broken's here because da da da." Well, she was on a date. I think it was like her second date with this dude. And he freaks out. He's drunk, and he freaks out thinking she's married. And taking him to a show, and was really weirded out by the fact is that she's married. Not married. I just made a joke. That's all it was. And I even made the fact is like, on stage, I make a fact that it was a joke. And it's still in his head and stuff like that. So he's just heckling me throughout the entire show. And finally I said, "All right, cool. Well, I'm trying to do an interview." I go, "All right, cool. You're going to heckle me? All right, it's time for your interview." And I actually got off stage, got a spotlight, like whatever lights I could get to go, "All right, cool. Let's have a conversation. What do you want to talk about?"
Yeah.
And the guy's, I go, "That's what I thought. You really shouldn't be in the show. Talk to me after the show. We'll get you booked. But otherwise, it was a joke." On the plus side, he did buy the whole, like the cast that was on the show that night, which was Scabs the Clown, who was on before me. He was on that show as well. He bought us drinks all night. Now, he ended up being a big piece of shit otherwise, but it's a whole other story. But the fact is that I deal with like hecklers. I don't deal with people trying to grab hammers to try to hit me people with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all my physical stunt stuff is like mouse traps. And, you know, if you want to take a mouse trap to yourself, all right, good, go ahead, but that's on you. And I always say that too. I go, "You're going to do it? That's fine. It's on you."
I love your mouse trap with the stop lines.
Taking a shot, I love that. Pretty fun.
Oh, do the mouse trap with shots? I get so many free drinks at bars.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Fun.
It's not even the hardest one I hit too. Like I do a mouse trap on my eyebrow, and that hurts like so much. That hurts more than anything else.
I've lately been instead of using mouse traps on my tongue, been using actual like number ones, and I actually painted one. I actually found pussy pink paint. It actually says pussy pink right onto it.
Yeah.
And so I painted this trap that color paint just because it's a joke, right? So
No, that's actually really funny. I'd say, like, to be fair, when I got started doing this bit, I also said I'd never do mouse traps, and I do mouse traps now. I used to say I don't do staples, and I do staples now. I mean, sure, at some point, like somebody, like, I have friends that are in the suspension community and stuff like that, and they go, so when are you going to get suspension and stuff? I go, "I'm not doing that." They go, "Yeah, but you said that about mouse traps." I go, "Yeah, you're right, but still, I just still have no desire to be, like, all that sort of stuff like that." The whole, like, the number ones, I'm going, probably not my, I say not my tongue, but like, at least not right now, not my tongue, but I might do hands or something like that.
you were there where I did the caramel pull on with my.
Oh, that's right, I did watch that. That was crazy. That's like a weird thing. So what do you think is the limit? What's too painful for the both of you? All right, I'll start with myself because it's really easy. I don't like pain, but I'm also the weird sort of person that I go, if I decide to do something, I'm going to do it. But I also, 9 times 10, most of the stunts I do the first time live on stage. I don't rehearse it. But I'm also very picky about what stunts I do. Like, there's some stuff I know you have to rehearse. There's just no way. I'm not going to do my first sword swallow is not going to be on stage because so you have to train for that. But stuff like, all right, cool, take a trap to my hand. All right, but like as far as certain types of traps currently as it stands, there are a lot of traps I won't do. I might do a number one at some point, but that's at some point. But like we know when show's going to happen. But that's for me. Now, for you, what do you consider to be the limit? What's too painful?
Well, that's a tough one because I do have a very high pain tolerance. Like when I had the shark hook go through my wrist, I went to McDonald's and got the drive-through while I had a shark hook through my wrist. When I had third-degree burns to a lot of my body, and I went home and had a shower. That's the way my brain works. But that's tough. I really don't think there's anything I wouldn't try.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's a tough one.
I've had bear traps like, I don't know if you've seen my big 6-foot bear trap that I shoved my arm into and things like that. Which is definitely a lot larger than a number one.
Well, yeah, no, that's why. That's like, it's one of those. I've thought about the idea of getting into more trap stuff, but I'm trying to think of like, I gotta find the right gimmick for me to do said thing. I'm not just gonna do the thing to do the thing. Like when I started doing traps is because I went, all right, if I'm gonna do like mousetrap stuff, I'm gonna tell a story as I do it, and I'm adding traps to my body as I'm telling the story because I figure that's a really interesting way to do it, versus just going, look at the thing. Although, when I discovered I could drink with doing a mousetrap with my tongue, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There's one trap here that I want to do. I'm just going to grab it quickly.
That's cool. All right, so have you guys seen someone else and gone, what the heck is wrong with you? Every day. Every day. I mean, that's just really, that's just sideshow. What in the world is that?
This is a trap which scares the crap out of me, and it was originally, so you can see, it's made to go into a tunnel. So that there.
Okay.
So basically, it's to stick things into, and basically long length things. And somebody has dared me to put a certain body part into that, which I still. That's probably my no right there. This thing right here is my no.
That's a lot of money. That's what that looks like. That looks like a lot of money to even consider that.
Yeah. It's if somebody wanted to ante up, I would consider it, but it would be a lot of money. Yeah, to do that. But I've been dared to do it, but with a dare without money, sometimes it's just
not for that. I mean, it's like me and the thing. I go, that's really interesting. I go, that's one way to go. And like now I'm even thinking, I go, how can you make a really cool thing out of that? I'm not really sure, other than the one thing. But I'm sure there's other stuff. At least my size. I mean, somebody who's like really small and slender, who had like really tiny arms and hands, could probably do an arm bit with it. But
no,
I'm not that person. So.
Yeah. But yeah, and I don't. Also, going back to things that we have only tried live on stage was when I did my razor blade jump the first time, where I learned to jump into razor blades. It was I don't know if you know Chris Mysterion.
Yeah, I know Chris. Yeah, I was on a show with you. Ish.
Yeah, he always it's like Chris. It's like, what can you do different? It's like. So every year it's like, Chris, what are you going to do different this year? It's always, I've never done the same thing on his show at all. And Todd loves to follow him. Ask him about that story. But anyways, I figured out how to jump into razor blades, but on stage I'd never done it before. I'd only used cantaloupe to figure it out, and a lot of cantaloupes were injured in the making of that stunt.
Yeah.
So anyways, basically I climb the machete ladder and I get to the top and then I jump into razor blades and like feet, foot, barefoot. and never done it live on stage, and really fun story. So this show was all a bunch of performers. We were all friends.
Yeah.
And it was one of those early Something Strange shows. And like there was blood. Everybody for some reason was getting hurt during the show. And I was the headliner. And like, people are bleeding everywhere. And so I like go to my friend who's there with me, and I'm like, hey Will, like I'm pretty much gonna have to amputate an arm to please this crowd, because the crowd was just pumped for blood. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So anyways, I get up, I was just like, it hit me on stage, it's like the whole show go no blood. So every time I did a stunt, I'm like, no blood. And then I get the crowd to cheer, and they'd be like, no blood. And then so finally I get to the point where I'm gonna jump into razor blades. And I'm like, I have no clue if there's gonna be no blood at all. Because I've never really done it live, and I've mangled a bunch of cantaloupes. So anyways, climb the ladder, and I'm up there, and Chris said I went white. I went pale.
Yeah.
And I'm up there debating, it's like, what am I doing up here? And so I jump in, and I just stand there, and the crowd goes silent. And I lift my feet up, and I go, no blood, and the crowd just goes, no blood. It was pretty awesome. It was a good first time to bring that stunt out and do it. It was the perfect setting. But yeah, it was the only performer that didn't bleed on the stage. And normally, I'm the opposite, where I'm the one that usually has a little bit more blood than normal. But yeah, it was perfect. The whole show was like no blood at all, the entire set. It was a lot of fun.
Especially considering that's an act, but basically it's all filled with things that should make you bloody. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think I'm scary. It says Mysterion is a bad influence, but in the right ways. Ha ha ha. And then Hot Todd licking shakes fist. He says jokingly concerning stories.
Yeah. Todd was he's. I love him. I love him on stage. He's such a great stage presence.
Oh, he does. I already talked. He was on the show last week, and I've talked before that my very outside of the local performers in Houston, he was the first person I met at the Hootenanny. It was just very general and warm, and so he's just such a great mensch, and so
yeah, and he's funny.
Oh yeah. Let's see what we got here. We got about 17-ish minutes, 16 minutes now. Thank everybody who's been coming by the show. My name is Geoff with the G. I'm right here with Fenyxfyre, the Strange or Danger Thrill Show. All right. Todd wants you to tell the story about being padded and how it worked out, particularly the Denny's bit. Padded. Something about Denny's?
I remember Denny's.
I guess involving, like, apparently you were... between you and Mysterion. It was between you and Mysterion about being padded and how you worked it out, particularly the Denny's bit.
I don't know. I'm trying. I know the Denny's bit, but I'm not sure how Chris and I worked it out. But yeah, I'm not too sure.
Have you guys ever gone to the doc? This is from I Think I'm Scary. Because have you guys ever gone to the doctors and just went, yeah, hey, I did this on purpose?
Yeah.
I haven't.
You haven't?
I've never been to the doctor going, yeah, I did this on purpose, but I just...
Well, I've had accidents where it's, like the shark hook through the wrist.
Yeah, that...
Which, it was... They still, like, I went to the hospital recently because I fell on my bed of razors and put a razor right through my hand, which was better than my entire body. But so while I'm there, they're like, you're the guy with the shark hooks, right? I'm like, yeah, that was me. They're like, we talk about that all the time still.
Yeah.
So, but that was pretty fun. And that was, but my doctor is very, she obviously knows my history of mental health and depression and things like that. So she's all for it. She's just glad that I've chosen to twist and manipulate self-harm into self-enjoyment, basically. It's a fine line with what we do. It's like, whether, I don't consider what I do self-harm anymore.
Uh-huh.
To me, it's the opposite, where it's like, it's self-safing. I'm being as safe as I can.
Yeah.
I don't want to harm myself. It's like, how do I do this without the least amount of harm?
Yeah.
So,
no, I understand. Okay, so Todd was talking about, because between you and Mysterion, he was the unknown performer and had to follow you, so he was padded in between you guys.
Oh yeah, okay, so yeah, that I understand. So, Lee Molson,
Yeah.
Todd was down and I was at work doing my corporate life job, and so I'm like, hey Todd, you should go hang with Lee all day. And Lee's like, he goes, man, I'd hate to go after Chris. It's like, I would hate to go after Chris, blah blah blah. And Todd's like going, oh yeah. And then I'm like, I messaged Todd, like, hey, I got the schedule for the show. He's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, you're after me. After Lee, the whole day has been like, yeah, you don't want to follow Chris. You don't want to follow Chris. But it was pretty fun because he basically he was Todd. Just really amazing, handled it well, and he come out and it was just I forget exactly what the words he said were, because I was offside stage and kind of still pumped after my performance.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. So he had to follow me, but he handled it really well. It was really great.
Well, that's good. I am glad. I'm sorry, I'm doing something at the same time. Let's see what else is going on. We are about 12 minutes out. Do you have any things going on sometime soon? Any online shows or anything like that? Oh, hey, Todd also says you should have seen what we did at Denny's before they asked us to leave, is what I said. So what do you have? So what? What? Okay, there. Okay, that's a good question. So what did you guys do at Denny's?
We'll talk about that with Todd sometime on it. It's pretty funny. Todd tells the story way better than I do.
Well, maybe we'll bring him on after the show ends and we'll chat about it.
Todd, he tells it way better than I do. I get. It was funny though. Todd, I end up just laughing at him all the time. Like, not laughing at him, but he makes me laugh all the time. So I'm usually just laughing my ass off if he's around. Shows that are coming up. I got a couple of live shows actually. I'm getting booked again, which is nice. For in Canada, I don't know if you guys have it in the States, but we're allowed to have up to 10 people in a group now. We call it our social bubble that we're allowed to have.
Depends on what part of the States.
Yeah. But so we, I've had a few bookings, so getting ready for Canada Day and things like that, getting ready for June. I've got a couple of live stream shows coming up. One again for Crafting for a Cure, which I did.
Oh, that's a really fun show. I watched. Yeah, that's a really good cause. I really like that. So
I'm doing another one of those, and which is funny. You know how stressed out she was.
Yeah.
So she actually hired me personally to perform just for her workers.
Oh wow.
Just because one of her workers loved it so much, was telling everybody else about it, but they never saw it. So they, because they're all frontline workers and things like that, frontline, basically it's just a thank you for all the hard work they do. And so she asked me to perform for them, which was kind of cool, because I thought for sure she'd be like, never again. Because it was a pretty intense show.
No, it was really cool with you and the host who was doing some cool, fun stuff too. So
yeah. Aaron is he's a magician. Aaron Matthews, Massacre
Matthews. I was trying to remember his name. I know it was Massacre something. I can't remember the last name. No, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching him, and it's one of those. I go, all right, cool, and I get to be a part of the show a little bit with him doing stuff. So that was a lot of fun. So
yeah, he has two characters. He has his like dark side, which is the kill show, and which he does like a whole lot of fun shows. But then he's actually a child's magician.
That's pretty. That's actually pretty extreme. Usually, magicians choose one or the other.
His dad is Doo the Clown from Billy Madison.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
You know who Doo the Clown is? That's his dad, and we all perform together a lot of times.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
I Canada's Wonderland all together, and I do the kill show in the CNE, the National Expedition, exhibition of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've got a few things. I'm working with, I Think I'm Scary coming up. So working with them. What else is coming up? I've got a really cool show that I'm hoping that'll be rescheduled. And it was a wrestling event, which I'm really looking forward to because I had the opportunity to do straitjacket escape while being body slammed. So that was one of those ideas I had, and it's like, I think it's possible. So I've been working with a wrestler, and we've been practicing, and so I've been getting body slammed a lot. Prepare for it. So, but it's an event that's coming up, and it'll be a professional wrestling event where I get body slammed while getting out of the straitjacket. So that one is going to be rescheduled very soon. We've been talking about it again to get it going again. So I'm pretty excited about that one.
That's very, very cool. I'm sure everybody can go to the various social medias, including what I have on the crawl, which is like at Instagram at the Fenyxfyre. Also, Fenyxfyre is available also on Facebook and stuff like that. So please make sure you guys check out to look at all that. It'd be really cool. I think it's awesome. I had a lot of fun watching the Care for the Cure thing last time I watched. I can't wait to see the next one, and then all that sort of fuss. I think it's scary. Says you need to get some really cool, I believe with sequins clothes for that. I'm sure it's what she knows versus sequins. You gotta get all like wrestlered out. So. Yeah, but you gotta go like 80s, right? You gotta go 80s wrestler with like the day glow and like sequins and stuff like that to make it really cool.
Yeah, I also have a really cool, very very tight fitting pair of swim trunks that I have planned for that kind of. So this is not a body that looks good without clothing on.
You're in Sideshow. It's just.
I have a lot of what's the word? Even though I'm very confident with my performing, I have a lot of I had a eating disorder growing up, so I have some very body image things that I bother, and then I had my sternum removed. I don't know if you knew that at all.
Oh yeah, I think you showed me.
It's over there, but. So anyways, my chest caves in, so I'm very self-conscious of, growing up in school, people are very harsh when you have something different. So for a long time, I was very self-conscious about, I would never take my shirt off. But actually performing, I actually take my shirt off quite a bit now. So it's really helped me get over my self-conscious things, which is another great thing about performing. To me, the biggest thing I've really learned with my performing, when I'm performing, I try my best to, I face my fears. Like, I have a huge fear of water, and last week I got to do a Houdini water escape, which is really cool. So for somebody that has fears, get into Sideshow and face those fears.
To be fair, that's same goes with me. Like I'm also very self-conscious of my body. In the first and then one day I did like one during one of the sideshows. I actually took my shirt off and it was really weird. Mostly go, all right, cool, end of the show. We gotta do tips. Staple guns ready, and so I go, oh, I gotta take stuff off because I mean, I gotta pay for what drinks I couldn't hustle people from. So, but it was really cool. Thank you so much for coming by the show today, Fenyx. We're gonna hang out after the show and chat more after the show gets done. So I put the link to join the Zoom to start once the show gets done. Everybody's welcome to come chat with us. It's cool. I'm being cool and good. I don't go out, so I hang out here, and it's the only time I drink and stuff like that. So I'm happy to chat with anybody I can, because otherwise it's just me and the dog, and the dog is passed out asleep, and he really has nothing important to say. So, but you're all welcome. Whoever wants to come join us is cool. I'm happy to hang out with everybody. Thank you, Circus Bar. Thank you for coming by the show. You are also welcome to join with us as well if you want to hang out afterwards. I'm happy to have you, join stuff like that. Coming up next is going to be Ben Vibin, who has this really cool kind of music stuff going on and stuff like that. You can catch me on Wednesday for the Devil's Hour, which Fenyxfyre has been on, and so is Hot Todd Lincoln, who's in the chat. This week I've got Artie Dodger, who's an amazing juggler and balancer out of Dallas, Texas. I have, as far as keeping with the sideshow thing, Dr. Finnegan Circus, who's from the East Coast for us, and who's amazing. I've got some stuff from them. On the music side, I've got a really cool Latin artist by the name of Angelica Rey, who's really supremely amazing. And then the other music artist I have is a group from California by the name of Tartar Control, which are really cool punk band, which I don't want to spoil what their gimmick is, but it's definitely worthwhile to check out because it's unique, it's fun, and I've known the guitarist for years now, and I'm really happy we're able to put some stuff up with them, and then plus some other weird shenanigans I'll be doing, stuff like that. And then next week on this show, I have the man himself from Freak Show Deluxe, the Right Reverend Tommy Gunn will be here. And so that's going to be a lot of fun chatting with him. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff like that. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Fenyx, we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to run the credits, and then we're going to do Hangout afterwards. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, everyone.
All righty.